The greatest tragedy is not that you failed, but that you were too distracted to even try. We have become a generation that is physically present but mentally elsewhere. Your phone rings and you jump. A notification flashes and you lose an hour of your life. You are working hard, but you are not moving forward because your mind is scattered into 1,000 tiny pieces. This book is not about working more hours. It is about reclaiming the power of your attention until the world around you stops existing. Imagine waking up with so much clarity that you don't even think about checking your apps. Think about the feeling of finishing your day with a deep sense of pride because you stayed on track from start to finish. I am going to show you how to build a wall around your mind that no noise can penetrate. We are going to strip away the junk and the cheap thrills that keep you average. Are you willing to be forgotten by the crowd so you can be remembered by history? It is time to dive so deep into your mission that you literally forget what a distraction feels like. Let's begin the work. Chapter 1. Stop chasing every shiny thing you see. Look at your life for a moment and be honest about what you see. You spend your days jumping from one thing to another because you are afraid of missing out on something that does not even matter. You pick up your phone to check a message, and an hour later, you are still scrolling through pictures of people you do not know. You start a project with high hopes, but the moment it gets a little quiet or a little boring, you look for a reason to stop. You are chasing shiny things. You are chasing the quick thrill and the fast hit of excitement because you have forgotten how to sit still and finish what you started. This is why you feel tired. This is why you feel like you are working hard but getting nowhere. You are spreading your energy so thin that it has no power left to move the needle in your life. You have to decide right now that you are done being a slave to every little noise and every little light that flashes in your face. The human mind is a beautiful tool, but it can also be your worst enemy if you do not give it a single direction. When you chase every shiny thing you see, you are telling your brain that your goals are not important. You are telling yourself that a random video or a trivial notification is worth more than your future. Think about the feeling of regret that hits you at the end of a wasted day. You feel heavy in your chest because you know you traded your potential for nothing. That pain is real, and it comes from a deep place inside you that knows you were meant for more than just being a consumer of distractions. You have to stop looking for the next big thing and start looking at the one thing you already have in front of you. Success is not found in the new. It is found in the old habits of staying with a task until the job is done. If you want to change your life, you have to change your focus. You have to learn to say no to the things that look good but are not good for you. Most people are failing because they want to do everything at once. They want the new car and the new job and the new hobby and the new social media trend. They are like a person trying to catch 5 birds at the same time. They end up with nothing but empty hands and a lot of wasted breath. You must be the person who picks one bird and follows it until it is caught. This requires a level of discipline that most people are not willing to show. It means you will have to be bored. It means you will have to turn off the music and sit in the silence of your own work. It means you will have to ignore the invitations to go out and do things that take you away from your mission. Consider the people who have actually built something that lasts. They did not get there by being distracted. They got there because they became obsessed with their work. They focused so hard and for so long that the world around them started to disappear. They forgot what it felt like to be pulled away by a phone call or a television show. They entered a state where only the work existed. You can have that too, but you have to stop the chase. Stop looking for the shortcut. Stop looking for the magic pill that makes things easy. The only way to the top is through the focused effort of doing the same thing over and over until you are the best at it. When you stay on one path for a long time, you start to see things that other people miss. You see the details, you see the patterns, You see the beauty in the work itself. Distraction is a thief. It steals your time, which is the only thing you can never get back. It steals your confidence, because every time you quit a task to look at a shiny object, you lose a little bit of respect for yourself. You start to believe that you cannot finish anything. You start to think that you are just a distracted person. But that is a lie. You are a person who has simply lost control of your attention. You can take it back today. You take it back by deciding that the thing in front of you is the most important thing in the world. You lock the door. You put the phone in another room. You sit in your chair and you stay there until the work is finished. It will be hard at first. Your brain will scream for a distraction. It will try to convince you that you need to check the news or get a snack or look up a random fact. Do not listen. That is just the habit of being distracted, trying to keep its grip on you. Stay with the work. Feel the frustration and let it sit there. The frustration is actually a sign that you are breaking the old patterns. It is the feeling of your brain rewiring itself for deep focus. If you can push through that first hour of wanting to quit, you will find a level of peace you have never known. You will find that you actually enjoy the challenge. You will start to see progress that you never thought was possible. This is how you forget what distractions feel like. You get so far ahead of the noise that you can no longer hear it. You become so focused on the results that the small things no longer have any power over you. Think about the legacy you want to leave. Do you want to be remembered as someone who was always busy but never accomplished anything? Or do you want to be the person who built a mountain out of a single stone? The difference is focus. The difference is the ability to ignore the shiny things. Every time you turn away from a distraction, you are building a muscle. Every time you keep working when you want to stop, you are becoming a stronger human being. This is about more than just work. This is about the quality of your soul. A focused person is a powerful person. A focused person is a free person. You are no longer pushed around by the world. You are the one doing the pushing. Take a look at your surroundings right now. What are the shiny things that are pulling at you? Maybe it is the need for people to like your posts. Maybe it is the need to always know what is happening in the world. Maybe it is just the fear of being alone with your own thoughts. Whatever it is, you have to let it go. You have to realize that those things are not helping you. They are chains that keep you stuck on the ground. If you want to fly, you have to drop the weight. You have to simplify your life down to the essentials. Pick your work, pick your people, pick your path, and then ignore everything else. You have the power to do this. It is not a gift that some people have and others do not. It is a choice. It is a decision you make every single minute of every single day. When the temptation comes to look away, you choose to look deeper. When the urge comes to start something new, you choose to finish what is old. You stay in the fight until the bell rings. You work until you are tired, and then you work a little bit more. This is how you change your reality. This is how you become a person of substance and value. Stop chasing the lights and start being the light. Focus your energy like a laser until it burns through every obstacle in your way. Do not wait for tomorrow. Do not wait for the perfect moment. The perfect moment is right now, and the only thing that matters is what you do with this very second. Stay focused and do not let go. Chapter 2. Train your brain to love doing nothing. You are constantly running because you are terrified of what you might hear if the world finally went quiet. You fill every gap in your day with a screen or a song or a conversation because the idea of just sitting there with your own mind feels like a burden. You have trained yourself to believe that every second of your life must be filled with some kind of input. If you are waiting in a line, you pull out your phone. If you are sitting in a car, you turn on the radio. You have lost the ability to simply exist without a constant stream of information hitting your brain. This constant noise has made you weak. It has made your mind jumpy and anxious. You are like a person who has forgotten how to breathe deeply because you are always gasping for the next hit of excitement. You need to stop. You need to learn how to be still. You need to train your brain to love doing nothing, because that is where your true power is hiding. When you cannot sit in a room alone for 10 minutes without reaching for a distraction, you are not in control of your life. Your environment is in control of you. Your devices are in control of you. You have become a reactive creature that only moves when something pokes it. To find the kind of focus that changes your destiny, you must first build a foundation of inner silence. This is not about being lazy. It is not about wasting time. It is about clearing the clutter so that you can actually think for yourself again. Most of your best ideas are buried under a mountain of useless facts and opinions that you have gathered from the internet. You have to stop adding to that pile. You have to let the dust settle so you can see the ground beneath your feet. Think about the physical toll this constant stimulation takes on your body. Your heart is always racing a little too fast. Your eyes are always tired from the glare of the lights. Your mind is always spinning with 1,000 half-finished thoughts. You are living in a state of high stress and calling it normal. But it is not normal. It is a trap. When you sit down and choose to do nothing, you are giving your nervous system a chance to reset. You are telling your brain that it does not need to be on guard every single moment. This is a skill that you have to practice just like any other. At first it will feel wrong. You will feel an itch in your hands to pick up a device. You will feel a voice in your head telling you that you are wasting your life. You must ignore that voice. It is the voice of the addiction talking. The most successful people in the world are not the ones who are the busiest. They are the ones who can think the most clearly. You cannot think clearly if your head is full of other people's noise. You need the empty space. You need the boredom. Boredom is actually a gift because it is the birthplace of creativity. When your brain gets bored, it starts to look inward for entertainment. It starts to connect dots that it could not see before. It starts to solve problems that have been bothering you for weeks. But you never get to that stage because the moment you feel a hint of boredom, you kill it with a distraction. You are starving your own genius because you are afraid of a little bit of quiet. You have to lean into that quiet. You have to embrace the stillness until it no longer feels like an enemy. Imagine the freedom of being able to wait for an hour without feeling frustrated. Imagine the strength of being able to sit on a porch and watch the sun go down without needing to take a picture of it. This is what it means to own your mind. When you love doing nothing, you become immune to the pull of the world. You no longer care about the latest trend or the newest outrage. You are anchored in your own presence. This inner stability is what allows you to focus when it is time to work. Because you have practiced being still, your mind does not wander when you try to complete a difficult task. You have taught your brain to stay put. You have taught it that it does not need a reward every 5 seconds to keep going. Stop thinking that you need more information to succeed. You already have enough information. What you lack is the space to process it. You are like a person who keeps buying food but never stops to eat it. Your cupboards are full but you are still hungry. You need to stop shopping and start digesting. Spend time every day doing absolutely nothing. No phone, no book, no music. Just you and the air in the room. Watch your thoughts pass by like clouds. Do not try to catch them or change them, just watch them. You will realize that most of the things you worry about are just noise. They have no real weight. They only have power because you give them your attention. When you stop giving them your attention, they start to fade away. This practice will change how you interact with everyone around you. You will become a better listener because you are no longer waiting for your turn to speak or looking at your watch. You will be fully there in the moment. People will feel your presence and they will respect it. There is a deep dignity in a person who is not hurried. There is a quiet authority in someone who can sit still. You are building a character that is solid and reliable. You are becoming the kind of person who can handle pressure because you know how to find the calm at the center of the storm. The world is getting louder and crazier every day. The only way to survive it is to build a sanctuary inside yourself that the world cannot touch. You must realize that the urge to be constantly busy is often a way to avoid the truth. If you stay busy enough, you never have to ask yourself if you are happy. You never have to wonder if you are on the right path. You just keep moving so you do not have to feel the empty spot in your heart. But doing nothing forces you to face those questions. It forces you to look at your life without any filters. This is why it is so scary. But it is also why it is so necessary. You cannot fix a problem you refuse to look at. In the silence you will find the answers you have been searching for in books and videos. The answers were always there. You were just too loud to hear them. Make it a goal to find joy in the simple act of being alive. Notice the way the light hits the floor. Listen to the sound of your own breathing. Feel the weight of your body in the chair. These are the basic building blocks of reality. When you can find peace in these things, you will find that you need much less from the outside world to feel satisfied. Your hunger for shiny things will start to disappear. Your need for constant validation will wither away. You will find a deep sense of contentment that does not depend on your bank account or your social status. You will be free. This is the ultimate strategy for a focused life. You build the capacity for silence so that your work becomes a choice rather than a frantic escape. You go into your deep work with a mind that is rested and ready. You are not fighting yourself to stay focused because you have already won the battle against distraction in your quiet time. You move with a calm, deliberate energy that gets more done in an hour than most people do in a week. You are no longer a leaf blowing in the wind. You are the tree that stays rooted no matter how hard the wind blows. Start today. Put everything down. Close your eyes. Just be. Learn to love the nothingness and you will find that it is actually everything. Chapter 3. Cut the ties to people who distract. You have to take a very hard look at the people you spend your time with, because they are either the wind in your sails or the anchor dragging you down to the bottom of the ocean. Most people are afraid to admit that their friends are the reason they are failing. You stay in circles that do not challenge you because it feels comfortable to be around people who are just as distracted as you are. You sit at tables where the only conversation is about other people or things that happened in the past. These people are not bad people, but they are dangerous to your future because they do not have a vision that matches yours. They want you to stay exactly where you are, so they do not have to feel bad about their own lack of progress. You are absorbing their habits and their language and their limited thinking every single time you answer their call. You must realize that your energy is a finite resource, and every minute you spend entertaining someone who has no direction is a minute you have stolen from your own dreams. It is time to be honest about the cost of these relationships. Think about the feeling in your gut when you hang up the phone with someone who just spent 30 minutes complaining about their boss or the weather. You feel drained. You feel heavy. That is your spirit telling you that you are out of alignment. You cannot build a high-level life while surrounded by low-level influence. If the people in your life are constantly pulling you away from your work to go to parties or watch shows or just waste time, then they are not your friends. They are your distractions. A real friend would respect your need to work. A real friend would be proud of your discipline. You have to be willing to walk away from the people who treat your time like it has no value. This is not about being mean or acting like you are better than anyone else. This is about self-preservation. It is about protecting the seeds you are trying to grow in your life. The world is full of people who are wandering around with no plan. They are looking for someone to join them in their confusion. If you are not careful, you will become their companion. You have to set boundaries that are as thick as stone walls. You have to tell the people in your life that your work comes first and your social life comes second. If they cannot handle that, then they do not belong in your inner circle. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And if those 5 people are distracted and lazy, then you have no chance of becoming focused and successful. You need to find people who make you feel a little bit uncomfortable because they are doing so much better than you are. You need to be around people who talk about ideas and growth and contribution. When you change your circle, you change your reality. Think about the psychological weight of trying to please people who do not care about your success. You spend so much time worrying about their opinions and trying to fit in that you lose sight of who you are supposed to be. You are playing a character to satisfy a crowd that is not even paying attention. Stop seeking approval from people you do not even respect. It is a waste of your mental power. Every time you say yes to an invitation you do not want to go to, you are saying no to your own potential. You are trading your greatness for a moment of social comfort. You have to develop the courage to be the person who stays home. You have to be okay with people calling you boring or stuck up because you are working while they are playing. The results you get in a few years will be the only answer you ever need to give them. There are people in your life who are like leeches. They only show up when they need something from you. They take your advice and your money and your time, but they never give anything back. They are energy thieves. You have to cut those steeds completely. You do not owe them an explanation. You do not need to have a big dramatic fight. You just need to stop being available. Start saying no more often than you say yes. Watch how quickly these people disappear when you are no longer a source of free entertainment or support. The people who truly care about you will stay, and the rest will wash away like salt in the rain. This clearing of the decks is necessary for you to have the mental space to focus on what matters. You cannot build a skyscraper on a foundation full of trash. Consider the emotional toll of toxic connections. Some people just bring drama everywhere they go. They are always in a crisis and they want you to be the one to save them. Every time you get involved in their mess, you are taking your eyes off your own path. You are trying to put out their fires while your own house is waiting to be built. You have to let people solve their own problem. You have to realize that you are not the savior of the world. Your first responsibility is to your own life and your own mission. If you are not strong and focused, you cannot help anyone else anyway. By cutting off the distractions, you are actually becoming someone who can eventually provide real value to the world. The silence that comes after you cut ties with distracting people might feel lonely at first, but that loneliness is actually a sacred space. It is the gap where your new life will begin to take shape. In that quiet, you will finally be able to hear your own voice again. You will start to remember the goals you had before you let the world tell you what to want. Use this time to get to know yourself. Build a relationship with your own ambition. When you are no longer chasing the crowd, you can finally start moving at your own speed. And the funny thing is, once you start making real progress, you will attract a whole new group of people. You will attract people who are also focused and also driven. These are the people who will push you to go even further. You must be ruthless with your environment. If your phone is full of group chats that offer nothing but gossip, then leave those groups. If your weekend is full of obligations to people who drain you, then cancel those plans. Your life is a precious gift and you only get one shot at it. Do not spend it trying to be liked by people who are going nowhere. The road to the top is a narrow one, and not everyone can fit on it. You have to be willing to travel light. Leave the baggage behind. Leave the noise behind. Leave the people who are satisfied with being average behind. You are heading for something much greater and you need every bit of your focus to get there. Understand that your time is your life. When someone steals your time, they are stealing a part of your existence. Treat your hours like they are bars of gold. You wouldn't just hand out gold to every stranger on the street, so why do you give away your attention so easily?
Be the gatekeeper of your own mind. Do not let anyone enter who does not bring something of value. This is how you develop the focus that makes you forget what distractions feel like. You create an environment where distraction is simply not allowed. You surround yourself with excellence, or you surround yourself with nothing at all. Both are better than being surrounded by mediocrity. Take a stand today. Look through your contacts and your social circles and decide who stays and who goes. It might be a hard choice, but it is the most important choice you will ever make. You are choosing your future over your past. You are choosing your growth over your comfort. You are choosing to be a leader instead of a follower. Once you cut those ties, you will feel a lightness in your soul. You will feel a surge of energy, because you are no longer carrying the weight of other people's expectations. You are free to focus. You are free to work. You are free to become the person you were always meant to be. Do not look back. The people you left behind will still be there doing the same things years from now. But you will be in a completely different world.
Chapter 4. Face the boredom that makes you run. You have reached a point in your journey where the initial excitement has worn off and the real work begins. This is the stage where most people quit because they cannot handle the heavy silence of the middle miles. You started with a big dream and a lot of energy, but now the novelty has faded and you are left with the day-to-day grind. This is the wall of boredom. It is a thick and grey wall that sits between you and every great achievement in human history. Most people see this wall and they immediately turn around to find something new and shiny to spark their interest again. They think that the boredom is a sign that they are on the wrong path or that they have lost their passion. But they are wrong. Boredom is not a stop sign. It is a test of your character and a measure of how much you truly want the life you claimed to desire. You have to learn to stand your ground and face that emptiness without flinching. Think about why you run from a quiet moment. You feel a restless energy in your limbs and a frantic need to occupy your brain with any kind of garbage just to avoid the present second. You are afraid of the boredom because it forces you to look at the gap between who you are and who you want to be. When you are distracted, you can pretend you are making progress, but when you are bored, the truth comes out. You realize that the work is hard and the road is long. You realize that there is no magic trick to get to the top. This realization is painful, so you reach for your phone or a snack or a conversation to numb that pain. You have to stop numbing yourself. You have to sit in that discomfort until it becomes your friend. The greatest breakthroughs in science and art did not come from people who were constantly entertained. They came from people who were willing to stare at a problem for 1,000 hours until the answer finally revealed itself. If you want to master your life, you must first master the art of being bored. You have to train yourself to stay in the chair when your mind is screaming for a change of pace. Discipline is simply the ability to do what you said you would do long after the mood you said it in has left you. The mood of inspiration is a fickle friend. It shows up when things are easy, and it vanishes the moment things get dull. You cannot build a life on moods. You must build it on the solid rock of habit and the willingness to endure the ordinary. Every master was once a beginner who refused to quit when the work became repetitive. A world-class athlete spends thousands of hours doing the same basic movements over and over again. A great writer spends years staring at a blank screen and typing sentences that they will eventually delete. They do not do this because they are always excited. They do it because they have learned to value the process more than the hit of dopamine. The human brain is currently being rewired to expect a reward every few seconds. You are being conditioned by a world that wants you to be a perpetual child who needs a new toy every hour. When you choose to face your boredom, you are performing an act of rebellion against a system that wants you distracted and weak.
You are reclaiming your sovereignty as a thinking human being. This requires you to develop a new relationship with time. You have to stop seeing a quiet afternoon as a hole that needs to be filled. See it instead as a container for your potential. When nothing is happening on the outside, everything can happen on the inside. You can plan your next decade, you can refine your strategy. You can deepen your understanding of your craft. But none of this is possible if you are always running toward the nearest exit the moment the room gets quiet. Look at your daily routine and find the spots where you usually cave in to the pressure of boredom. Maybe it is the 30 minutes after lunch when your energy dips. Maybe it is the evening when you feel like you deserve a break. Those are the moments where your future is decided. If you choose to lean into the stillness, you will find a hidden reservoir of strength. You will discover that the boredom is actually a gateway. Once you pass through the initial layer of irritation, you reach a state of calm focus that is unshakable. You start to find beauty in the small details of your work. You find a rhythm that carries you forward without effort. This is the flow state that people talk about, but you can never get there if you jump ship at the first sign of a dull moment. You have to pay the price of admission, and that price is a period of pure, unadulterated boredom. Most people are living at a surface level because they are too impatient to dive deep. They know a little bit about a lot of things, but they are masters of nothing. They have touched 100 shores, but they have never explored the interior of any land. You must be different. You must be the one who stays. When everyone else is looking for a shortcut or a new method, you stay with the fundamentals. You keep sharpening the same blade until it can cut through anything. This persistence creates a level of skill that looks like magic to the outside observer. They will call you a natural or a genius because they did not see the thousands of boring hours you spent in the dark. They do not understand that your greatness is just the accumulated interest on your boredom. You invested your time where others wasted it. Take a moment to feel the weight of your own existence without any external input. It feels heavy and strange at first. You might feel a sense of anxiety rising in your chest. Do not run from it. That anxiety is just the old version of you trying to survive. It knows that if you learn to be bored, its power over you is gone. Sit with that feeling, let it wash over you like a wave. Eventually the wave will pass and you will be left standing on the shore of a new reality. You will realize that you do not need the world to entertain you. You are enough. Your thoughts are enough. Your work is enough. This realization is the beginning of true freedom. You are no longer a beggar looking for crumbs of excitement from the table of the world. You are the master of your own house. You must also realize that the constant pursuit of novelty is a trap that leads to a shallow life. If you are always looking for the next big thing, you will never appreciate what you have right now. You will always be living in the future or regretting the past, but life only happens in the present. Even the boring parts are part of the story. If you can learn to find meaning in the quiet moments, you will find that your whole life becomes more vibrant. The colors seem brighter and the air feels fresher, because you are actually there to experience them. You are no longer viewing your life through the lens of a camera or a screen. You are living it with your whole heart. This presence is what gives your work its soul. A focused mind produces work that has a weight and a depth that a distracted mind can never replicate. Decide today that you will no longer be a victim of your own impatience. When the urge to check your phone hits you, recognize it for what it is. It is an invitation to be average. It is a request to join the ranks of the forgotten. Reject that invitation. Stay with the boredom. Let it burn away the distractions and the fluff until only the core of your purpose remains. You will find that the more you face the boredom, the less power it has over you. It becomes a familiar landscape that you can navigate with ease. You start to look forward to the quiet times because you know that is when the real growth happens. You become a person of depth and substance. You become someone who can be trusted with great responsibility, because you have proven that you can stay at your post when things get difficult. The road to becoming someone who has forgotten what distractions feel like is paved with boring days. It is built out of afternoon sessions where nothing seemed to happen. It is made of early mornings where you felt like staying in bed. But you showed up anyway. You sat in the silence. You did the work. You faced the wall and you did not turn back. That is the secret of the elite. They are simply the people who were willing to be bored longer than everyone else. They waited out the storm of distraction until the sky cleared and they were the only ones left standing. You have that same capacity within you. It is a muscle that you must exercise every day. Start small, sit for 5 minutes with no input, then 10, then an hour. Build your tolerance for the quiet until you are the master of your attention. When you can face the boredom, you can face anything in this world.
Chapter 5. Hide away until the work is done. You have to learn the power of disappearing, because the world will never stop asking for your time until you have nothing left to give. Most people feel a desperate need to be seen and heard every single day, but that constant visibility is exactly what is keeping you average. You are trying to build your dream in the middle of a crowded room, where everyone is talking and everyone wants a piece of your attention. You cannot produce masterpiece work while you are checking to see if people are watching you. True greatness is forged in the dark and in the quiet, where no one is looking and no one is cheering. You must develop the discipline to go into your own cave and lock the door behind you. You need to stay there until the job is actually finished, and not just when you feel like showing off a half-baked idea. There is a massive difference between being busy and being effective, and most of that difference is found in the hours you spend away from the public eye. Think about the sheer amount of energy you leak every time you announce what you are going to do before you have actually done it. You get a little hit of satisfaction from the praise of others, and that false sense of achievement kills your hunger to finish the actual task. You have to stop talking about your plans and start hiding your progress. There is a sacred strength that comes from having a secret project that only you know about. When you hide away, you are protecting your focus from the opinions and the doubts of people who do money-making work, but have no soul in it. You are creating a space where you can fail and experiment and mess up without the fear of being judged by the crowd. This privacy is the only environment where your most original thoughts can grow. If you are always exposed to the world, you will eventually start to look and act just like the world. You must realize that most of what you call social connection is just a distraction that keeps you from your destiny. You feel a sense of guilt when you do not respond to every message or show up to every event. But that guilt is a lie. You owe the world your best work, and you cannot give that work if you are always available. Realize that the people who truly matter will still be there when you finally emerge with something incredible. The rest of the world will just be distracted by the next new thing anyway, so stop trying to keep up with them. Your goal is to become so good that they cannot ignore you, but that level of skill requires thousands of hours of isolated practice. You have to be willing to be forgotten for a while. You have to be okay with people wondering where you went or what you are doing. Let them wonder. Your results will be the only answer they ever get. The physical act of hiding away is a signal to your brain that it is time for serious business. When you close the door and turn off the world, you are setting a boundary that protects your mental clarity. You are saying that your mission is more important than the news or the gossip or the trivial events of the day. This isolation allows you to go deeper into your work than you ever thought possible. You start to see connections and solutions that are invisible to the distracted mind. You enter a zone where time feels different, and your skills sharpen with every passing hour. This is where the real magic happens, but it only happens when you are alone.
You cannot find this depth in a coffee shop with 100 people walking by, or in an office where people are constantly knocking on your door. You need a sanctuary. You need a place where the world cannot find you. Consider the legends who built empires and changed the course of history. They all had periods of their lives where they vanished from the scene. They didn't spend their time trying to be famous or popular. They spent their time getting better. They understood that public success is just the fruit of private discipline. If you want to have the fruit, you must be willing to work on the roots in the dark soil where no one can see you. This requires a level of self-trust that most people lack. You have to believe in your vision enough to stay with it when there is no external validation. You have to be your own coach and your own cheerleader. When you finally finish the work and step back into the light, you will be a different person. You will have a confidence that comes from knowing you did the hard thing when no one was watching. Most of your anxiety comes from trying to manage your image while you are still trying to find your way. When you hide away, you drop the mark. You can be honest with yourself about your weaknesses, and you can work on them without embarrassment. You can take the time to learn the things you do not know. You can read the books and do the research and practice the skills until they become second nature. This period of isolation is not a punishment, it is a luxury. It is a gift you give to yourself so that you can reach your full potential. Stop seeing it as missing out on life and start seeing it as preparing for a much bigger life. The parties and the gatherings will always be there, but the opportunity to do your greatest work is slipping away every second you remain distracted. You have to be ruthless about your schedule. You have to carve out blocks of time where you are completely unreachable. This might mean waking up before the sun comes up or staying up late after the world has gone to sleep. It might mean turning off your phone for an entire weekend, or skipping a vacation to stay in your studio. These choices are hard, but they are the price of admission for a life of focus. You cannot have it both ways. You cannot be the life of the party and the master of your craft at the same time. You have to choose which one matters more to you. If you choose your work, then you must be prepared for the loneliness that comes with it. But that loneliness is where you find your true strength. It is where you find out who you really are when all the noise is gone. The world is designed to keep you looking outward because that makes you a better consumer. But your growth requires you to look inward, and that only happens in the quiet. When you hide away, you are reclaiming your mind from the marketers and the influencers who want to tell you what to think. You are developing your own voice and your own perspective. This is what makes your work unique and valuable. People can sense when something has been created in a state of deep focus. It has a weight and a presence that superficial work lacks. By hiding away until the work is done, you are ensuring that what you eventually share with the world is actually worth their time. You are respecting your audience by giving them your absolute best instead of just another piece of junk. Decide right now what project in your life deserves your total isolation. Pick the one thing that would change everything if you actually finished it to a high standard. Then find a way to disappear. Tell the people in your life that you are going away for a while to focus. They might not understand at first, but they will respect the results. Put away the distractions and the excuses. Go to your quiet place and stay there. Do not come out until the work is finished. Do not come out until you have reached the goal you set for yourself. The feeling of emerging from that isolation with a completed masterpiece is better than any temporary thrill the world can offer. You will have earned your place at the top through the quiet power of your own discipline. This is the path of the true professional. You do not wait for inspiration to strike you in a crowd. You go to where the inspiration lives, in the silence. You work through the frustration and the doubt until you reach the finish line. You forget what the world feels like because you are so focused on the world you are creating. This is how you build a legacy that lasts. This is how you become a person of depth in a shallow world. Hide away today so that you can shine tomorrow. The work is waiting for you, and it requires all of you. Give it the respect of your total privacy and watch as it transforms your life forever.
Chapter 6. Quit looking for a way out now. Stop searching for the emergency exit, because the struggle you are trying to avoid is exactly where your future strength is hidden. Most people spend their entire lives looking for a back door or a shortcut that will save them from the heat of the battle. You start a difficult task, and the second the pressure builds up, you start wondering if there is an easier way to get the same result. You look for a magic tool or a new system or a lucky break that will do the heavy lifting for you. This habit of looking for a way out is a slow poison that kills your ability to finish anything meaningful. You have to realize that the difficulty is the point of the work. If it were easy, everyone would be doing it, and it would have no value at all. You need to burn the boats and commit to staying in the fire until the transformation is complete. Success is not about escaping the hard parts, but about becoming the kind of person who can walk through them without breaking. Every time you look for a way out, you are telling your subconscious mind that you do not believe in your own power. You are training yourself to be a person who flinches when things get serious. This creates a deep sense of insecurity that follows you into every new project you start. You can see it in your eyes and hear it in your voice when you talk about your goals. There is a lack of weight to your words because you know deep down that you have a history of running away. You must decide today that there is no plan B and no exit strategy. When you take the option of quitting off the table, your brain starts to look for solutions instead of excuses. You find a level of creativity and grit that was hidden under your desire for comfort. The human spirit is capable of incredible things, but only when it is backed into a corner with nowhere else to go. Think about the psychological relief that comes when you finally stop fighting the reality of hard work. Much of your stress comes from the mental energy you waste trying to find a way to avoid your responsibilities. You spend hours researching faster ways to do things when you could have finished the work in half that time by just doing it. You are caught in a cycle of hesitation that drains your battery before you even start. When you quit looking for a way out, you find a strange kind of peace. You accept that the next few hours or days or months will be difficult, and you stop complaining about it. This acceptance allows you to put all your focus into the task at hand. You become a steady and unstoppable force because you are no longer distracted by the thought of quitting. You are simply a person doing what needs to be done. The world is full of people who are looking for a hack to get rich, or get fit, or get famous without any sacrifice. These people are perpetual amateurs who never build anything that lasts. They jump from one trend to another because they are chasing the feeling of ease. But true mastery requires you to sit with the frustration of being bad at something until you become good at it. It requires you to do the boring drills and the repetitive tasks that make your hands ache and your mind tired. If you are always looking for a way out, you will never stay long enough to reach the level of excellence that commands respect. You have to be willing to be the person who stays in the room after everyone else has gone home. You have to be the one who keeps pushing when the results are slow and the praise is nowhere to be found. Consider the physical sensation of wanting to quit. Your chest feels tight and your mind starts to race with 100 reasons why this work does not matter or why you should do it later. This is the moment where your character is formed. If you listen to those thoughts, you remain the same person you have always been. But if you acknowledge those thoughts and keep working anyway, you are evolving. You are building the muscle of endurance that will serve you for the rest of your life. This is how you develop a reputation with yourself as someone who finishes things. That self-respect is worth more than any amount of money or fame. It is the quiet confidence of a person who knows they can handle whatever life throws at them because they have survived the hardest parts of their own ambition. You must stop waiting for the day when work will feel easy and fun all the time. That day is never coming. Even the things you love will have moments that feel like a heavy burden. The difference between a professional and a dreamer is that the professional does the work even when it feels like a chore. They have quit looking for a way out and have started looking for a way through.
They understand that every obstacle is an opportunity to prove their commitment. When you face a wall, you don't look for a way around it. You figure out how to climb over it or break through it. This aggressive mindset changes your entire relationship with your environment. You stop being a victim of circumstances and start being the creator of your own path. Most of the things you are afraid of are actually quite small once you face them head on. The fear of failure or the fear of being judged grows in the darkness of your hesitation. When you stop looking for a way out and move toward the fear, it starts to shrink. You realize that you can survive a mistake and you can handle a critic. The only thing you cannot survive is the regret of never giving your full effort. You have to be more afraid of staying average than you are of the pain of hard work. Let that fear of a wasted life drive you deeper into your focus. Let it be the fuel that keeps you in the chair when your body wants to run. You are engaged in a battle for your future, and there are no prizes for those who retreat. The silence of a focused life is a lonely place, but it is also a powerful place. In that silence you find out what you are truly made of. You see the limits of your patience, and you learn how to extend them. You see the depth of your ignorance, and you learn how to fill it with knowledge. None of this happens if you are always looking for a way out. You have to stay in the silence until it stops being scary and starts being a sanctuary. You have to love the process of struggle, because the struggle is the only thing that can burn away the parts of you that are weak and lazy. By the time you finish, you will be a leaner and sharper version of yourself. You will be a person who no longer recognizes the word distraction. Commit to the task in front of you as if your life depends on it, because in many ways it does. The quality of your work is the quality of your life. If you produce shallow work because you are always looking for an exit, you will live a shallow life. But if you dive deep and stay there, you will find a richness and a satisfaction that the escape seekers will never know. You will have the pride of knowing you did not flinch. You stayed when it was hard. You worked when it was boring. You finished when everyone else quit. That is the ultimate victory. Stop looking at the door, lock it from the inside, and get back to work. Your greatness is waiting on the other side of the resistance you are feeling right now.
Chapter 7. Give your full heart to one task. You are currently trying to live 10 different lives at once, and that is why you feel like you are standing still. You have divided your spirit into so many small pieces that not a single one of them has the weight to make an impact on the world. You think that by doing many things you are being productive, but you are actually just being busy while your soul remains empty. To achieve anything of real value, you must learn to gather all your scattered energy and pour it into one single task until it is complete. This is not just a way to work, it is a way to live with honor and depth. When you give your full heart to one thing, you are showing respect for your time and for the life you have been given. You are no longer a person who just touches the surface of things. You become a person who dives deep into the center of the work and finds the hidden treasure that the world is looking for. Most people are afraid to commit to one task because they think they are missing out on everything else. This fear of missing out keeps you in a state of constant anxiety, where your hands are on one thing, but your mind is already jumping to the next. You are physically present but mentally absent. This half-hearted way of living is the reason your results are mediocre. You cannot produce excellence with a distracted mind. Excellence requires a level of intimacy with your work that only comes when you shut out every other possibility. You must decide that for this hour or this day, nothing else in the universe exists except the mission in front of you. You have to love the work enough to give it your entire focus without holding anything back. This total surrender to the task is where your genius lives. Consider the feeling of a heavy hammer hitting a single nail over and over again. Each strike moves the nail deeper into the wood until it is set forever. Now imagine taking that same hammer and hitting 10 different nails just once. None of them move far, and none of them hold anything together. This is how you are living your life right now. You are hitting 1,000 nails once and wondering why nothing is being built. You must pick one nail and hit it until the job is done.
This requires a level of patience that is rare in our modern world. It requires you to be okay with the fact that other things are waiting. Let them wait. Your priority is the work in your hands, and everything else is just noise trying to steal your greatness. When you give your full heart to a task, you start to see details that other people miss. You begin to understand the nuances and the patterns that are invisible to the person who is in a hurry. You develop a relationship with your work that is based on truth and care. This is the difference between a job and a craft. A job is something you do to get finished, but a craft is something you do to get right. When you focus on getting it right, you find a sense of peace that no distraction can ever provide. Your heart rate slows down and your mind becomes clear like a mountain lake. You are no longer fighting the clock, you are dancing with it. This state of being is the highest form of human existence, and it is only available to those who are willing to focus on one thing. The world wants you to believe that multitasking is a skill to be proud of, but multitasking is just a fancy word for doing several things poorly at the same time. It is a lie told by people who are afraid of the intensity of deep focus. You have to reject this lie with every fiber of your being. You have to be the person who is known for doing one thing at a time with absolute perfection. When you are eating, you should be eating. When you are writing, you should be writing. When you are listening to a friend, you should be listening with your whole soul. This level of attention is a rare gift in a world that is always looking at a screen. It makes you powerful because you are actually present in your own life. You are not a ghost haunting your own days. You are the master of your own moment. Think about the psychological cost of leaving tasks half-finished. Each open project in your life is like a leak in your energy tank. You carry the weight of these unfinished things with you everywhere you go, and they drain your confidence and your clarity. When you commit to one task and see it through to the end, you plug one of those leaks. You feel a surge of power because you have reclaimed that piece of yourself. Success is built on a series of finished tasks. It is not about how many things you start, it is about how many things you bring to a close. By giving your full heart to one task, you are ensuring that it will be finished to the best of your ability. You are building a track record of completion that will give you the courage to take on even bigger challenges in the future. This way of working is also an act of self-love. You are telling yourself that your work is worth your full attention. You are telling yourself that you are worthy of the best results. When you rush through things or try to do too much, you are basically saying that your life is a series of chores to be gotten over with. But when you slow down and give your heart to the task, you are honoring the process of creation. You are finding joy in the effort itself, rather than just the outcome. This shift in mindset will change your entire experience of the day. You will no longer feel like a victim of your to-do list. You will feel like an artist who is carefully crafting a life of meaning and purpose. The distractions of the world will always be there calling your name. They will tell you that you are falling behind, or that you need to check in on what others are doing. You must have the strength to ignore those voices. You must have the integrity to stay with your one task until the very end. This is how you develop a mind that is as sharp as a blade. A blade only works because its entire force is concentrated on a single point. If you spread that force out, it becomes blunt and useless. Be the point of the blade. Concentrate your entire life into the current moment and the current task. Watch how easily you cut through the obstacles that used to stop you. When you finish that one task with your full heart, you will feel a level of satisfaction that is deeper than any temporary pleasure. You will look at what you have done and you will see yourself reflected in. You will know that you gave it everything you had, and that knowledge is the ultimate reward. You can then move on to the next task with a clean slate and a rested mind. This is the secret of the high achievers. They do not do more things than you. They just do each thing with more of themselves. They move from one point of focus to the next, like a bright light moving through the dark. You can start this journey today by picking one small task and giving it your absolute all. Do not look at your phone. Do not think about lunch, just be with the work. Your heart is a powerful engine, but it can only drive one vehicle at a time. If you try to hook it up to multiple machines, you will just burn out the motor. Give your heart to the one thing that matters right now. Let it beat in rhythm with your hands and your mind. Let the world fade into the background until only you and the task remain. This is where you will find your truth. This is where you will find your strength. This is where you will finally forget what distractions feel like. You are meant for great things, but greatness requires your total presence. Give it your heart, and watch as your life begins to change in ways you never thought possible.
Chapter 8. Trust your own gut and stop asking. You are currently living a life that belongs to everyone else because you have handed the steering wheel to people who do not even know where you are trying to go. You spend your days asking for permission to be great and looking for a green light from people who are too afraid to move themselves. This constant need for validation is the loudest distraction in your life, and it is keeping you from the truth that lives inside your own chest. You have a deep internal compass that knows exactly what you need to do next, but you have muffled its voice with the opinions of your neighbors and your coworkers and people on the internet. You have to stop asking if your ideas are good enough and start trusting that your gut is the only guide you will ever need to reach your destination. Every time you ask for someone else to agree with your plan, you are bleeding out your confidence and delaying the inevitable work that only you can perform. The human spirit was not designed to be managed by a committee of fearful observers. You were born with a set of instincts that are perfectly tuned to your specific purpose on this planet. When you feel a pull toward a certain path or a sudden spark of insight about a project that is your biological intelligence speaking to you, most people ignore this feeling because they are worried about looking foolish or making a mistake that others might see. They would rather follow a crowd into a ditch than walk alone into the light. You must be different because you understand that your intuition is a muscle that only grows stronger when you actually use it. If you keep deferring to others, your own inner voice will eventually go silent, and you will be left wandering through a life that feels like a costume that does not fit. You have to reclaim your right to be wrong and your right to be right on your own terms. Consider the amount of time you waste waiting for a consensus before you take a single step toward your goals. You talk about your dreams at dinner tables and in meetings, hoping that someone will give you a nod of approval so you can finally feel safe to start. But safety is a lie that prevents growth. The people you are asking for advice are viewing your life through the lens of their own limitations and their own past failures. They cannot see your vision because they do not have your heart. When you stop asking for permission, you reclaim all that wasted time and put it back into the execution of your mission. You become a person of action who moves with a quiet and terrifying speed. The world does not need more people who are waiting for a sign. It needs people who are brave enough to trust themselves when the path is dark and the wind is cold. There is a specific kind of focus that only comes when you are the sole person responsible for your choices. When you stop asking for a second opinion, you are forced to pay closer attention to the reality of your situation. You start to see the risks and the rewards with a clarity that was previously hidden by the noise of outside advice. You become more sharp and more alert because you know that there is no one else to blame if things go sideways. This pressure is not a burden, it is a sharpening stone that turns your mind into a fine instrument. You learn to read the environment and make adjustments in real time based on what you see and feel rather than what a book or a mentor told you to expect. This is how you move from being a student of life to being a master of your own reality. Think about the psychological toll of living as a perpetual follower. You are always looking at the faces of others to see if you are doing a good job. You are checking your metrics and your feedback loops to find out if you are allowed to be happy with your progress. This is a form of mental slavery that keeps your energy focused outward instead of inward.
When you trust your gut, you are declaring your independence from the social matrix. You are saying that your own internal standard of excellence is higher than any standard the world could set for you. This shift in perspective allows you to work with a level of intensity and purity that is impossible when you are trying to please a crowd. You are no longer performing for an audience, you are working for the sake of the work itself. Most people are terrified of the silence that comes when they stop asking for direction. They feel a sense of vertigo because they have been leaning on the crutches of other people's opinions for so long. But that emptiness is where your true character begins to take shape. It is where you find out what you actually believe when no one is watching and no one is grading you. You have to be willing to stand in that gap and make a decision simply because it feels right in your bone. Even if you fail, you will have gained something more valuable than success, which is the knowledge that you had the courage to try. A failure that belongs to you is worth more than a success that you borrowed from someone else's plan. You can learn from your own mistakes, but you can never truly learn from a life that you lived by following a script. You must realize that the people who have changed the world were almost always told they were wrong by the people around them. Innovation and greatness do not come from following the rules that were written by the average. They come from the individuals who looked at the status quo and decided that their own gut feeling was more accurate than the history book. You have that same fire inside you, but you have been dousing it with the cold water of other people's doubts. Stop explaining yourself. Stop justifying your choices to people who are not even in the game. Your results will eventually be the only explanation anyone requires. Until then, keep your mouth shut and your eyes on your own work. Trust the process that is unfolding inside you even when it does not make sense to the people standing on the sidelines. The distractions of the world are often just a way to avoid the responsibility of self-trust. It is easier to scroll through a feed or watch a video of someone else's life than it is to look at your own and decide what to do with it. But you were not meant to be a spectator. You were meant to be the main character in a story that is uniquely yours. This requires you to put down the phone and turn off the voices of the experts. It requires you to sit in a room until you can hear your own heart beating. Once you find that internal rhythm, you must follow it with a relentless focus. Do not let the chatter of the world pull you out of your stride. You have a job to do and you are the only one who can do it correctly. Decide today that the era of asking is over. You are now in the era of deciding and doing. When a choice comes your way, look inward first. Ask yourself what you would do if you were the last person on earth, and no one was ever going to see the result. That answer is your gut speaking to you. Take that answer and run with it as fast as you can. Do not look back to see if people are following you. Do not check to see if they are laughing. Just move. The more you act on your own instincts, the more accurate they will become. You are building a feedback loop between your soul and your reality that will eventually become an unstoppable force of nature. You will become a person who is so focused and so grounded that the very idea of a distraction will feel like a foreign language. The quiet power of a person who trusts themselves is the most attractive thing in the world. People will eventually flock to you because they are looking for the same certainty that you have found inside yourself. But you must remember that you did not find it by looking at them. You found it by looking away. You found it by closing your ears to the noise and opening your heart to the truth. Stay on your path and keep your head down. The world will try to pull you back into the fold, but you must refuse to go. You have found the secret to a life of focus, and that secret is that you are the only authority that matters. Trust your gut. Stop asking. Get to work. Your future is waiting for you to take the lead.
Chapter 9. Fix your life behind closed doors today. The time has come to stop performing your struggles for an audience and start solving them in the shadows, where real change actually takes place. You have spent far too much energy trying to look like you have it all together, while the foundation of your private life is crumbling under the weight of bad habits and neglected duties. Most people are obsessed with their public image, but they live in a state of total chaos when the lights go out and the doors are shut. You cannot build a monument of success on a pile of private garbage. You must go into the rooms of your life that you have been avoiding and start the hard work of cleaning up the mess without anyone watching you. This is the most honest work you will ever do because there is no applause for cleaning your desk or fixing your sleep or paying your debts. It is just you and the truth of your situation, and that is exactly why it has the power to transform your entire existence. True focus is born in the quiet corners of your daily routine that no one else ever sees. If your private life is a wreck, your public work will eventually reflect that instability no matter how hard you try to hide it. You feel a constant drain on your mental energy because you know that you are living a double life. You show the world a person who is driven and capable, but when you are alone, you are lazy and disorganized. This internal conflict creates a heavy cloud of guilt that follows you into every task you try to perform. You have to eliminate that guilt by aligning your private actions with your public goals. This means you must handle the small and boring details of your life with the same intensity that you bring to your biggest dream. Fix the leaky faucet in your kitchen and the leaky habits in your schedule with the same level of urgency. Think about the psychological power of a clean and ordered private environment. When you walk into a room that is organized and purposeful, your brain receives a signal that life is under control. You no longer have to waste mental space worrying about where things are or what needs to be fixed next. This order allows your mind to settle into a deep state of concentration that is impossible in a chaotic setting. You are creating a fortress where your focus is protected from the random stresses of a messy life. This is why you must handle your business behind closed doors before you try to conquer the world outside. You need to be able to trust yourself when you are alone. If you can keep a promise to yourself in the dark, you will have no trouble keeping a promise to the world in the light. Most of your distractions are actually just symptoms of a life that is out of balance in the shadows. You reach for your phone or a drink or a mindless video because you are trying to escape the reality of your own home or your own thoughts. If you make your private life a place of order and beauty, you will no longer feel the desperate need to run away from it. You will find that you actually enjoy the quiet hours of the evening and the early moments of the morning. You will start to see your home as a laboratory for your greatness rather than a prison for your failures. This shift requires you to take a cold look at your bank statements and your pantry and our laundry pile. It requires you to be the adult in the room and do the things that you have been putting off for months. Consider the emotional strength that comes from having zero secrets with yourself. When you fix your life behind closed doors, you no longer have to worry about being found out. You are the same person in the basement that you are on the stage. This integrity gives your voice a weight and a resonance that people can feel in their bones. You are not a fraud trying to sell a dream you haven't lived. You are a practitioner of the discipline you preach. This level of self-respect is the ultimate fuel for long-term focus. It allows you to move through the world with a light heart and a clear head. You are no longer carrying the baggage of 100 unfinished private tasks. You are free to give your total attention to the work at hand because your foundation is solid and your house is in order. The world is obsessed with the final result, but the victory is actually won in the preparation. You see the athlete win the race, but you did not see the thousands of hours they spent training in the rain when no one was there to cheer. You see the successful business, but you did not see the nights the owner spent staring at spreadsheets while the rest of the world was asleep. You must fall in love with the hidden part of the process. You must find a deep satisfaction in the act of discipline itself. Every time you choose to do the right thing when no one is looking, you are adding a brick to the wall of your character. Eventually that wall will be so high and so strong that no distraction will ever be able to climb over it. Stop waiting for a special occasion to get your life together. Today is the day you decide that enough is enough. You do not need a new year or a new month or a new week to start the cleanup. You just need to walk into the next room and start with the first thing you see. Throw away the junk that is cluttering your space and your mind. Delete the apps that are eating your time. Write down the plan that you have been carrying in your head.
Do it now and do it for yourself. This is not about impressing your friends or your followers. This is about proving to the person in the mirror that you are serious about your future. When you fix your life behind closed doors, you are sending a message to the universe that you are ready for bigger responsibility. There is a sacred quality to the work you do in private. It is a form of meditation that clears the path for your highest potential to emerge. When you are scrubbing the floor or organizing your files, you are also scrubbing your soul and organizing your thought. You are stripping away the layers of pretense and getting down to the core of who you are. This honesty is the only ground upon which a great life can be built. Do not be afraid of the hard work that lies in the shadows. Embrace it as the most important part of your journey. The habits you build in the dark will be the very things that save you when the world tries to pull you into the light of distraction. Imagine the peace of mind you will feel when every drawer in your house is organized and every bill is paid and every relationship is on solid ground. This is not a dream. It is a reality that is available to you if you are willing to do the work. You will find that your focus becomes effortless because there is nothing left to pull at your attention. You will be able to sit in a room and just be because you are not surrounded by reminders of your own neglect. This is the true definition of a successful life. It is not about how much you have, but about how little you are bothered by the things you lack. It is about the quality of your internal environment. Go home today and close the door on the world. Turn off the noise and look at what needs to be fixed. Do not feel overwhelmed by the size of the task. Just start. Piece by piece and hour by hour, you will rebuild your life into a masterpiece of order and focus. You will become a person of substance and power. You will forget what distractions feel like because you will be too busy enjoying the clarity of a life that is truly yours. The secret to your public greatness is hidden in your private discipline. Fix the small things and the big things will take care of themselves. Your new life starts the moment you decide to stop pretending and start producing in the quiet of your own home.
Chapter 10. Enjoy the quiet of a focused mind. You have finally arrived at the place where the world no longer has the power to pull you in 1,000 different directions, because you have found a sanctuary within your own skull. Most people spend their entire existence running from the silence because they are afraid of the emptiness they might find there. But you have learned that the silence is actually where your true life begins. You have reached the summit of your discipline, and now you can breathe the thin air of a mind that is completely at peace with its own purpose. This quiet is not the absence of sound or activity, but the presence of a deep and unshakable clarity that allows you to see the world exactly as it is, without the filter of anxiety or the fog of distraction. You have worked hard to clear the brush and build the walls, and now you get to inhabit the house of your own focus. It is a feeling of immense weight and immense lightness all at once, because you are finally standing on solid ground, while your spirit is free to soar toward whatever goal you choose. Think about the sheer relief of no longer feeling the frantic itch to check a notification or keep up with a conversation that does not matter. You have outgrown the need for the constant noise that keeps the rest of the world in a state of perpetual panic. You look at the flashing lights and the loud headlines, and they feel like a foreign language that you no longer care to speak. This is the ultimate freedom, because it means you are no longer a victim of the environment around you. You carry your own atmosphere with you wherever you go, and nothing can penetrate the shield of your concentration unless you allow it. You have moved beyond the struggle of trying to focus and have entered the state of simply being focused. It has become your natural way of moving through the day, and it feels as easy as breathing. In this state of quiet, you find that your work takes on a quality of grace that was missing when you were still fighting the world. You move with a deliberate speed and a precision that makes every action count. There is no wasted motion and no scattered thought, because your entire being is aligned with the task at hand. You find that you can accomplish in 2 hours what used to take you an entire week, because you are no longer bleeding energy through the cracks of hesitation and doubt.
This efficiency is a gift that allows you to live more life in a single afternoon than most people live in a month. You have time for the things that matter because you have stopped giving your time to the things that do not. You are the master of your seconds, and therefore you are the master of your years. Consider the physical sensation of a focused mind as it settles into the day. Your vision seems sharper and your ears are tuned to the subtle rhythms of your own creativity. You feel a sense of warmth in your chest because you are doing exactly what you were meant to do with the tools you were given. This is the joy of the craftsman who knows his blade is sharp and his wood is true. You are no longer chasing a result because the process itself has become the reward. You find as much pleasure in the difficult parts of a project as you do in the completion because you have learned to value the quality of your own attention. You are alive in the most profound sense of the word. You are not just a passenger on a train going nowhere. You are the engineer of a powerful machine heading toward a destination of your own choosing. The silence you enjoy now is the result of every no you said to the people who tried to steal your time. It is the fruit of every morning you spent in the dark and every evening you spent behind closed doors. You have earned this peace through the sweat of your own willpower, and that makes it the most valuable thing you are. People will look at you and wonder how you stay so calm in a world that is falling apart, but they did not see the battles you fought to protect your inner space. You must guard this quiet with everything you have. Do not let the old habits of distraction sneak back in through the back door of your success. Just because you have won the war does not mean you can stop being a soldier. You must remain the gatekeeper of your own mind for the rest of your life. This focused life allows you to connect with people on a level that most never experience. When you are with someone, you are fully there. You are not looking over their shoulder or thinking about your next email. You are giving them the rarest gift in the modern world, which is your undivided attention. This creates a depth of relationship and a level of trust that cannot be built any other way. You become a pillar of strength for your family and your friends because they know that when you speak, you have thought about what you are saying. You have a weight and a presence that draws people toward you, but you no longer need their approval to feel whole. You are satisfied with the quiet approval of your own conscience. The quiet of a focused mind is also where you find the courage to face the bigger questions of existence. When you are no longer distracted by the trivial, you have to look at the essential. You start to think about your legacy and the impact you are leaving on the world. You start to care more about being useful than being famous. You find that your ambition has shifted from getting things for yourself to creating things for others. This is the highest form of human growth, and it only happens when the noise of the ego has been silenced by the power of focus. You are becoming a person of substance who will be remembered long after the shiny things of this world have turned to dust. Enjoy the rhythm of your new life. Wake up and know exactly why you are getting out of bed. Work with a heart that is full and a mind that is empty of clutter. Eat your meals with gratitude and walk through the world with your eyes wide open. When the sun goes down, you can look back on your day and know that you did not waste a single heartbeat. You gave your full self to the world, and the world is better because of it. You can sleep with the deep peace of a person who has finished their work and protected their soul. This is not a dream that is far away. It is the reality you are standing in right now. Do not be afraid of the silence that will follow you as you continue on this path. Embrace it as the music of your own greatness. Let the world be as loud as it wants to be, because it can no longer reach you. You have found the secret that the ancient philosophers and the modern masters all knew. The secret is that everything you ever wanted was waiting for you in the quiet on the other side of your own discipline. You have crossed the bridge and you have arrived. Stay here. Build here. Live. You have forgotten what distractions feel like because you have remembered what it feels like to be truly human. This is the end of the struggle and the beginning of the adventure. You are now equipped with the most powerful tool in the universe, which is a mind that knows how to stay on track. Use it well. Use it to build a life that inspires others to find their own quiet. Use it to create work that shines like a star in the dark. Use it to be the person you always knew you could be. The journey has been long, but look at how far you have come. You are focused, you are clear, you are free. Now go out and live the life you have worked so hard to create.